PDPs, or personal development plans. Okay, so PDPs are a structured way of giving and receiving feedback from the people within your business. So let's say you are a director in a company and you have 20 people under you. Out of those 20 people, 3 are your direct reports and the other 17 are under those 3 people, right? So it's you, then 3 people, then 17 other individuals. So you should have PDPs with your 3 managers, and those 3 managers should have PDPs with their respective direct reports with those 17 individuals. When you have these PDPs, the reason why they should be formal, right? And again, if you implement only part of what we recommend, do not expect to enjoy the same levels of success and growth that we have. If you implement everything exactly the way we teach it in the book or on this video, right, you will see the result that we have gotten, because we've proven this in 19 different sectors. It works every single time in the same way. So if you have these very structured PDPs, what happens on the PDPs is that it's a very safe environment where you have two-way feedback. On that environment, in that 30-minute meeting, I can have a call with Daniel, doesn't matter, and I can say, hey Daniel, I really loved when you did this. Did you enjoy doing that? Like, for example, helping, a colleague. And you say, yeah, you actually really did. Okay, what's some way in which we can have you doing more of that, because you're obviously good at it, everyone loves it, and so on and so forth. And then you create a plan. It's a personal development plan. So within that, you create a plan for how they can basically build the career of their dreams. Okay? If they do anything negative, like for example, I can say to the same Daniel, I can say, this is what you tend to do. Like, you tend to always be 5 minutes late to every single meeting, and everyone else is there on time, but you're always late. What's that about? You say, well, my notifications, I don't hear my phone, I don't whatever, I don't, like, okay, Daniel, but the Mio meeting is every Tuesday at 2 p.m. and you've been in the company for over 2 months. What are you talking about? It's every Tuesday at 2 p.m. You have no excuse for not being there, right? And so you have a very sincere, firm conversation with them around whatever it is that they do positively or negatively, so they do more of the positive and less of the negative. And then you can basically have a plan for what they can do to not do the negative things and do more of the positive. We have an exact structure of that explained in the book, but basically it's very easy for you to create your own structure or just use ours, in the sense that as long as it's formal, so you have the conversation, you give them the feedback that you have to give them, you agree on a plan, and you agree on deadlines, on checkpoints, like when are you going to check if this improvement was implemented or not. Okay, so this is the main function of that call, and I want to underline that this is a two-way conversation, and you need to tell that to everyone you have a PDP with. I'm giving you feedback as someone I'm working with as my direct report, and you should give me feedback on how do you think the team can do better, how do you think I could do better, how do you think the company can do better, and so on and so forth. So that is the safe place where you can say anything. It doesn't matter, right? Obviously within the confines of the rules of engagement, like for example, no swearing or no yelling or things like that. However, you can say, I believe the person you hired 2 weeks ago is completely incompetent, and they're not adding value, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh wow, I didn't know. So you're saying that, or why are you saying because they're hitting their meals? What's going on? Well, yes, the only reason Frank is hitting their meals is because George is spending so much time helping him. But George isn't going to say anything because he's a nice guy, but I'm telling you this is what's going on. Again, remember, this is a safe place where people come and open up about these things, like, oh, okay, well, let me talk to George first, have a PDP with George, figure out what's going on, right, in a very nuanced, a very professional manner, ask him what he spends his time on and so on, and dig deeper into that, right? Maybe George will say, no, actually I just spend maybe max 5 minutes a day helping the guy because he literally just has blockers that he doesn't know what to do. I just talk about it in the meos whenever we talk about what we've been doing this week. It might sound like it's a lot, but it's actually not a lot. So now you have the correct perspective that actually it's not that much time, and you don't need to talk to Frank at all. Otherwise, if George confirms and says, oh my God, yes, there's, I'm spending an hour a day just helping Frank, then you can say, okay, but do you believe Frank should be in this role, or do you believe they shouldn't be here anymore? Notice how productive these conversations can be. These can tell you everything that's going on in the business if you have these PDPs. And again, you only have them with your direct reports. If you have 500 people in your company, you really shouldn't have PDPs with all of them, right? You maybe have 10 direct reports, you speak to them. Those 10 guys have 50 guys under them, 5 each, and they talk to those. And then those 50 guys have everyone else under them, and then they should have PDPs with them. Okay, it's very, very easy. And I mean easy. Everything we recommend is easy. It's just people don't implement them because they take time, because they're busy with other things. However, this is how you build a thriving organization, one in which you can literally leave and everyone is on the same page, everyone's adding amazing value to the business, because everyone is on a personal development plan, everyone has a scoreboard that they're looking at, everyone is clear on who they're accountable for, how often, and with what. So all of these systems that we're helping you put up basically help build that self-sustainable team that's the dream of every manager. So moving on from PDPs, this takes me very well to my second point, which is that typically what we see is that the awesome people that we referred to earlier, right, that really want to learn, that really want to do, and so on and so forth, not because they don't say it because they want a job, but they actually mean it, and they do the best they can with whatever resources they have, and add value to the team. Those people typically warrant investment in them, right? And Aaron and I agree that whomever proves themselves to be willing, competent, and they want to do things, if you have these PDPs with them, typically what I do is I ask them, okay, are there any skill sets within your core competencies or adjacent to your core competencies that you would like to improve? For example, if I'm talking to developers, and sometimes I do, or I used to do a lot of this in the past, they can say something like, well, I'm really, really good at backend. I really know how to do everything there. However, I would love to learn more front end. Or a front end developer can say, I'm very competent in web front end development. However, I would like to learn mobile, right? And so these PDPs will help you create that personal development plan for every single person within your company based on what their goals are, right? And they can say, hey, I really want to know this better, I learn this better. What we do in our companies is we invest in courses, and then we give them access to those courses, or we give them mentorship, or we put them on projects where they can exercise that skill, right? And then get the competency they need. Like, for example, we put a front-end web developer on a front-end mobile project, and so they can learn, right, whilst they're doing that, and they have a mentor, a senior mobile developer overseeing them, giving them feedback, and so on. Many, many things you can do. The gist of it is we recommend you invest in your people. So now, many people say, like, I don't want to invest in people because they might leave, and so then my investment goes away from them. And so what I can tell you is that there was a very funny conversation Aaron heard at one point, and I think I also read it somewhere even before meeting him, was that someone said, I'm giving you the short version of the story. Someone said that I would much rather have